Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm the only one who made it off.
Sean unfortunately unmuted himself during the intro and then remuted himself for the cheer. So, yeah.
Well, we're started off well. Start doesn't mean to go on, I say. Sorry, Jinx.
Yeah, as always. As always. If it's not me, though, it's usually me that messes up the intro, so at least it's not me.
Sorry, I was my
I've usually
browser's having a RAM emergency. Anyway.
Bit of a lag. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Hiya, Tabby, you all right? Tabby's in her own time zone there, I think. Yes.
She's stuck in peanut butter jelly time over there. Sorry, Tabby.
Yeah.
Stupin wants to know if you're feeling the cold, Monty. He is indeed.
I am. Yeah, I was feeling the cold, so I thought I'll double uniform. I'll double uniform up and put my movie jacket over the top of my TNG jacket, just because I was feeling a little chilly. So, yes. Good evening, everyone. It is us. We're back reviewing another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. And I'm here with my co-hosts this evening, Maz McBob. How you doing, Maz?
Hello. I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. You had a good week?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a busy one. Just lots of things going on. Things like I had a lot of knitted sales on Sunday, so I had to make 5 bees and 8 hedgehogs on Monday, Tuesday. So that was a lot of knitting in the evenings. Arranging stuff for our stag do.
Hope
she's not watching.
Yes. Shh.
Can't say too much.
Can't say. It's all top secret. G might be lurking there in the background somewhere. Good evening, Chief Sean. How are you doing this week?
Evening, fine, thank you. Greetings from Fairhaven.
Yep.
And all the traditional accents that come with it. That's how Irish people sound if you're in Hollywood.
To be sure. And I would say good evening, Tavikins Turner.
She may answer in a few minutes.
I'm not sure she'll hear me.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you guys
Hey.
can hear me. In what room?
Yes, we can.
Can you-
It wasn't too bad a delay.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of on and off. You're kind of there in spirit. Yeah. We might have to turn your green screen off. I think maybe the green screen might be taking too much bandwidth. But
Yeah, it could be overpowering your CPU. Yeah, depending on what you're doing.
yeah. Anyway, we'll work out those technical glitches as we go on. Good evening to live chat. Hiya, Andrew. I hope you're well and not working yourself too hard this week, sir. He says, thank you for the Facebook ad. That's perfectly fine. Anybody wants to be my friend on Facebook, I'm always happy to accept their requests. But I do warn you, I am crap with Facebook. I don't really use it that much. I don't really understand how it works.
Yeah, everyone's gone on to Mastodon now. That's the new thing.
Mastodon?
Yeah,
Isn't
well,
that a
basically
dinosaur?
Yeah, but everyone's jumping ship from Twitter to go on Mastodon. So all the big Twitterites are leaving. We'll see what happens if there's a full on changeover or if it's just a flash in the pan.
I do want to make it clear we are not charging for TNG points, right? We're not charging £8 for a month for TNG points, so you don't have to worry. TNG points are still free, so there you go.
As are the prizes.
Yeah, as are all the prizes. Yes. Good evening to Ruth. Hiya, Ruth. I hope you're well this evening. Gujon, good to have you. The beard is here. The beard is here. And Stuplum. Yeah, he pointing out I'm feeling the cold. Yes. So, good evening, everyone. Tonight we are here to talk about... what are we here to talk about? Star Trek. Half a Life. That's it. I literally just finished my notes, so I should know what it is we're talking about, because I literally finished 10 minutes ago. Are we feeling good about this episode tonight?
Yeah, it's decent enough.
It's decent enough. Now, there's not a lot of data in it. Not a lot of data. I did try to pick a couple of data photos out of the bag for Tavi. Is she there?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. She's got that sad face.
About the no data so much.
I've got a character. I've got a Playmates character to show us later for guess the figure. Sean, have you produced any questions for tonight?
Was I meant to?
I don't know. Did we talk about you being quizmaster at some point? But
I thought that was just for the 1 week. Okay, I haven't done any.
No, that's
okay,
right.
I guess I can put together 5 questions on short notice.
I've done it. I have 6 questions for you this evening. I think one with a bonus question.
Why did you put Sean on the spot like that then? That was mean.
I just I just thought I'd watch his panic. Just like I just wanted to see the I tasked him, so I shall have him.
I think I've figured out how to get the sound to work. I just haven't played with it. And now look, I'm after turning myself off. Hold on.
Oh.
How did I do that?
He tells me.
Yeah.
And I shall have him.
Sorry about that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think I figured out how to get the sound to work, but I just haven't had time to play.
Oh,
with it.
yes, I've got blood wine. I haven't actually poured myself a glass yet. But,
yeah, just want a few more clips. Just like, brag all you want, but don't get between me and the blood wine.
Blood wine? There we go. Blood wine is on. The blood wine is on. Brag all you want, but don't get between me and the blood wine. I'm going to say Martok, Deep Space Nine.
That's Cisco.
It was Cisco.
Oh, was it Cisco? Oh, yes, when they were, yeah. The 3 of them
being
being
entered
Klingons.
into the Order of the Batleth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And they
it.
all dressed up as Klingons except for Worf, who looked exactly like Worf and expected Martok not to recognize him, and
Yeah.
Gowron not to recognize him. Yeah, anyway, we'll get to Deep Space Nine. Today's Half-Life.
Half-Life. One thing, there's no trailer today. We saw the trailer last week, but for some reason, TrekCore YouTube channel has been taken offline. So
Ooh,
we
Buccarino.
we can't review the trailer at the beginning this week. I have
Fine.
I have downloaded it, so we could watch a really, really bad quality version if you want.
A dying planet
I
hangs.
don't mind.
Yeah, I might try and play that.
Have you got your blood wine?
I do.
I have a
A
Malbec
dying
today.
planet hangs on the brink of
What do you have, Sean?
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know anything about wine, and it's fruity and it tastes nice.
I have 19 crimes.
Tavi says, got to sign out and in again. She's got a hard lemonade.
She's got a hard lemonade. Right. Well, whilst Tavi's signing in and signing out, then I'll make a move with the episode. So we are here to talk about Half-Life. It's episode 22. Yes, 22 of season 4. We're nearly there at the end of season 4. Production number 40274-196. It first aired on the 6th of May, 1991. It's the 95th episode to be both produced and released. The story was by Ted Roberts and Peter Allen Fields. This is Ted Roberts' only writing credit for TNG and is Peter Allen Fields' first of 3. The other 2 being The Cost of Living and The Inner Light.
Yeah, he also went on to do a duet in Not Far Beyond the Stars. What's the other one he did? He did another big Deep Space Nine episode that's gone out of my head. But
Well,
duet was probably the best of the first season of Deep Space Nine. It was fantastic.
he was also a producer and story editor on Deep Space Nine, and one of his biggest claims to fame is he created the character Elim Garak.
Yeah, sorry, in the Pale Moonlight. That's the one I was trying to think of.
Oh, in the Pale Moonlight.
Yeah. So also a huge Garak episode. So not really a surprise considering he came up with the character of Garak.
Yeah.
And Peter Allen Fields also sort of watched Haven and Menage a Trois to sort of figure out what character he was writing about because, you know, obviously Lwaxana had not been in it that much. And this was actually considered to be a slightly different episode, really, in that it didn't really feature largely any of the main cast. It was 2 guest cast that the whole story was around. So
Yeah.
that was a bit of a break from tradition and seen as a bit of a sort of fresh view, really.
Well, I mean, you see that a bit in Deep Space Nine, where they actually used to give people an episode off every 5 or 6 episodes, and they'd only be in maybe 2 scenes of an episode, but they'd film that a different week than the rest of the episode with a different director, and they just slot those scenes in. So every 3 and they just used to rotate it through the whole cast. And yeah, obviously in Doctor Who, it's kind of a tradition for a while where every year of the 13 episodes, there's 1 episode where the Doctor isn't in it. It's just a way of giving people a break. When Colomini signed up for Deep Space Nine, he did so on the proviso if he wanted to go off and make a film, he could, and they'd kind of write him out for 4 or 5 episodes, and he'd just barely be in it. They just inserted him a scene here and there. He'd do 1 week of filming, and it would cover 4 episodes. Just the way they made it.
Tavi, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can see you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a
I don't
hail
have green
to?
screen.
No. Do you want to give us a hail to Supreme Panko?
Is Paco here?
Panko's.
Paco!
I can't quite whistle that high.
No. Supreme! Supreme Panko! Supreme Panko is in the house. There you go. Good evening to you, good lady.
My husband's laughing at me because this is my whole drink.
It's impressive. It looks like something that would be on Star Trek, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, where were we? Oh, yeah, Peter Allen Fields. Yeah, Craig Garrick, so I thought it was interesting. And he also wrote the teleplay for this episode as well. It's directed by Les Lando, who we've, talked about a lot because this is his 25th episode of 34 that he directed for TNG. Right, I'm going to try to I'm going to try to play now the trailer, but I do apologise for this. This is a bit of a patch because the actual one's not available. So I apologise for the quality of this.
A dying planet hangs on the brink of destruction.
Even if I find the solution, you will not accept it?
And the only man who can save it is sentenced to die.
The man is supposed to kill himself. Now, you don't just let that happen.
Now, Picard must risk war to keep him alive.
Our ships have been ordered to open fire.
They expect Tennyson to die!
Death sentence on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's some 240p goodness.
I think that's generous, actually, 240. I mean, I'm actually looking at it on my screen here, and it's like a little tiny postage stamp.
How did we ever used to watch television back in the day?
I
don't know.
Just a blurry man. I used to watch people used to watch hurling on television. There's a tiny little ball the size of a cricket ball and on a rugby pitch. I don't know how anyone saw anything. Even in HD.
We had really good eyes back then. Really good eyes. And an imagination to fill in the blanks.
It was how people used to watch things like snooker on black and white televisions.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything more
Where are the
tedious. Yeah. Yeah.
They did work to the benefit of scary movies, because nowadays the camera is so clear that the lighting in the dark lets you see everything in the dark. But those VHS movies and those low quality movies, when the screen was black, you couldn't see anything. So you were there, right, with the characters going, "Oh crap, what's around the corner?" There's no quality, we can't see.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so that was the trailer. We managed to do it. And there's no information online of where Trek Call's gone, so they don't mention it on their website or anything. So I don't know what's happened there. But here's our first picture of the day. Is that a good size? Yeah, there we go.
Won't be needing this, Jesus. But I might as well sit down on a comfortable chair since it's just me on the cell phone.
Yeah. Right. So in the teaser, in Troy's personal log, she tells us that it's Stardate 44805.3 and her mother's on board. And that's it. That's all we get from the opening personal log. It's just, my mother's on
board. It's the only
board.
time Deanna Troi ever does the opening log, and she can say 5 words.
It's just, my mother's on board. That's it. But I think it's quite cool how TNG's got to that sort of point where all Troi needs to say is that in the opening log, and that kind of tells you everything you need to know about the crew and how they're feeling at the moment. That's all we needed to know. But we did get this nice shot of the Enterprise.
Yeah, and did you read up on this? Do you know what it's flying over?
Australia. Yeah.
But Australia, the land of Vegemite.
It's changed for the HD version, obviously, but it's the same HD version that they used for Haven and a number of the other planets. But it is sort of upside down Australia or backwards Australia or it's just Australia, actually. I think it's just plain Australia.
In First Contact when Picard opens up the loading bay and points out, and he's pointing out Papua New Guinea, Australia, Tanzania. On the map, there's no New Zealand. They just didn't include it.
It quite often happens to New Zealand. It just gets
because it's on the edge of the map, because it's far away from the GMT line as it could be, But they actually just straight up didn't include it. So, sorry, New Zealand.
I always think of that as well in Europe. When my mental picture of Europe is like, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, France, Spain, and that's it. And I always forget Portugal on the end. I don't know. I always forget Portugal on the end. But poor Portugal.
Yeah, well, back in the day, France and England had a war, and England won, I guess, because they both had different lines, and they went with the English one.
Yeah. So we've had Troy's log. We get a fearful-looking Jean-Luc Picard exiting a turbo lift. He seems to have developed some sort of telepathic ability himself, just knowing that he's about to be accosted somehow by Lwaxana Troi. And indeed, he is. She does. Of all the ship.
The exact same thing happens in Deep Space Nine when Odo looks out of a turbo lift to see if she's around.
See,
And
yeah.
she jumps out on him as well. So a nice little bit of sort of continuity of, sort of men who have been the focus for her attention.
Very, very unusual angle there because it's very rare you get that's almost the edge of the set, so very, very rare to see kind of towards the corner. They generally try to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, you got the holodeck slash
cargo bay,
shuttle bay, door there. So it's very rare they use that turbo lift door.
But when they need to actually leave the set, they can just walk out, just keep walking and just walk out, or they walk through the. Sorry, I was going to say they walk through the screen and the bridge, but that's a separate set. That's still the soundstage.
Yeah. Anyway, he tries to brush her off, saying he's picking up a leading scientist from Kalon 2, but she doesn't take the hint and gets excited to take part in some diplomacy. So they head to the transporter room, who's Chief O'Brien's there, and Geordie, and they welcome the scientist, Dr. Timmerson, on board.
Chief O'Brien, of course, practicing man-spreading before man-spreading was a term.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's just he does it in all the shots there. I'm assuming it's because he was too tall for the shot or something. But look at his feet. Nobody stands like that.
I don't know. It might be because just because he's been stood there for hours.
Yeah,
he's just got he's got a comfortable position where he stood in.
Can you imagine you're there for an 8-hour shift and they don't give you like a stool?
Well, you say that, but for the last, I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks, because I work from home, I've actually adopted working from my kitchen, stood up all day. And I'm now stood up for about 8-9 hours a day, rather than sitting here at my desk. And I feel so much better for it. My back's hurting less, my legs are hurting less. I just feel so much better for being stood up all day. I don't know why.
I might get around to getting a standing desk. It's like I spent like $1,000 on my home office the last year. I'll get around to it eventually. It's like the last thing I don't have.
Yeah, I could do one of those. I really could do one.
Yeah, I got one that
you
goes
just
up
have the
and
choice.
down, but it's not like a hydraulic one. You have to sort of really force it up and down. So I can't just make it easily go up and down during the day.
You want one with a little button.
And I did go for a couple of months. I was doing it stood up, and I was doing these shows stood up as well. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but I did it for a couple of months, and I find I'm just a little bit less productive. It's great when I'm just in meetings and stuff, but when I've got to do some concentrated written work, like writing on a policy or something, it's just better to be sat down for those sorts of things. So
I think you're right.
I really do kind of need it where I can go up and down rather than just fixed.
Well, I mean, I spent a lifetime using a computer sitting down, even to the point I'm left-handed and I use the mouse right-handed because I got in the habit of using other people's computers growing up. So even just the idea of changing it is kind of I'd have to try and adjust to it, but I'm sure there are benefits, as people say.
Yeah, no,
we don't have a moderator, do we, in chat?
No, me. Why have we got some?
We got hot girls,
sexy bots. Hang on, sorry. No, I don't have. We don't have Smiler Rainbow, so.
I'm not seeing
I'm the only whore allowed in house tonight.
Yes, that's right.
Just the lore whore.
Stop trying to usurp our tubbykins.
This is my turf, bitch.
Yeah, out of here.
Oh, that's weird. I'm looking at, if I look at the chat on the on YouTube, it doesn't come up, but when I look at your chat playback on the main screen, it does. So
is it because you got
the
top?
filter thingy?
Have you got top chat rather than live chat selected?
Oh, I may have that problem.
You have to do that every time. I
Why?
set that as a default. It's so annoying.
Yeah, like when you go to Amazon and they put up, sorted by featured products. No, no to high. Don't be messing me about. You need to find a plugin that just changes that every single time.
Yeah,
that's an idea.
Yes. Where was I? Oh yeah, Dr. Timmerson is like, oh yes, I've heard about this handshaking thing. And shakes Picard's hand. Lwaxana introduces herself in typical Lwaxana style and asks to take him to lunch and show him around and show him a good time. But
how often does Picard actually shake somebody's hand though off the transport?
Not often. Not often. But question number 1. So, guys, we've got to question. Time for you to get your fingers ready. Question number 1. Put Lwaxana's titles in order she mentions them. So we got A, the holder of the sacred chalice of Rix. B, the heir of the holy rings of Beta Z. And C, the daughter of the fifth house. So A, B, C, put them in order that she says them. The holder of the sacred chalice of Rix is A. B is the heir to the holy rings of Beta Z. And C is the daughter of the fifth house. So you should have like BAC or CBA or ABC or CAB or CBA or something like that. But yeah, once again, here we've had... Oh, no, wrong one. We've had Picard meet someone on the transporter room. He tries to say that they've got a lot of work to do and they're going to be busy. But the self-appointed entertainment director, Lwaxana, insists on taking him on a tour first. So yeah, they don't get to do what he was planning to do from the transporter room. They go off and do something else. It's becoming a bit of a meme, isn't it? I didn't realize how many times, like, you know, let me take you to your quarters. No, I just want to get on with my work. Okay. Let me take you to your work. Oh no, I want to have a tour of this wonderful ship first. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but honestly, you've been traveling for whatever 3 days to get there. Like, did you not rest on the day? You knew what time you were arriving at. Of course, you would have planned to get off the thing and just get to work.
So they head off. As they leave, Geordie comments to O'Brien that the man is in a lot of trouble.
I had the strangest thought when I saw that scene because Geordie is always trying to get laid, and I'm like, Lwaxana Troi, dude, she's wide open, man.
Could have been in
no
there.
creepiness needed. She out creepies you.
You know, if I let my hair grow out, it would look exactly like Colin Meaney's. There's a reason why I cut it tight and short all the time, because it does actually get that bad. It's ridiculous.
Is it an Irish thing?
It can be, yeah. I moved to Germany, and my German barber was really confused why my hair would go straight and then curl. He just didn't understand it. It took him cutting it a couple of times to understand how to cut it right.
Yeah.
It's not everyone, it's just some people. Sorry, go on now.
The thing is with Colm Meaney is it's a wig, so that's even like a choice.
Oh no, he's a big potato head. Well, he could cut it tighter, but yeah, it just grows like that.
Anyway, that was the end of the teaser. Was there anything else, Maz and Bob, with the teaser that we didn't pick up?
Just, I think you mentioned last time, but Timmerson, the actor, David Ogden, is it Steers or Stiers?
Stiers.
Was in MASH.
MASH, yeah.
Best known for his role in MASH.
He was the kind of pompous one that was like classical music and got really annoyed by like the layabouts around him.
I haven't seen much of MASH. I've seen a small bit of it. He's kind of like Kelsey Grammer, kind of. It's like, is it kind of like a not quite pretending to be British kind of thing? Sorry, I said that in an American way.
That's
pretending
right.
to be posh English kind of way.
Yes. Yeah, kind of posh American, almost English.
Mid-Atlantic, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, say Fraser.
Mid-Atlantic was the word I was looking for. Sorry, we'll move on.
Many of the cast members of MASH and the film were also in Star Trek, like Sally Kellerman, John Shook, and Renee Auberjonois.
Yeah.
And apparently Shook also married DS9 actress Susan Bain Nimoy, who went on to marry Leonard Nimoy.
Ah.
That was lucky. She never even had to change her name.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, yeah. I can refer to her by her former name.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say that was an in-house sort of family thing. That's a name that doesn't get out often.
No, it's just a quinky dink.
I know a guy called Liam Lanan, and he got engaged to a woman called Leanne, and now they're married, so it's Liam and Leanne Lanan.
Leanne and Anne. That's very good.
No, she kept her maiden name. She's still Leanne Curtis. But
Oh,
she avoided the Leanne and Anne thing. I
shame.
was like,
Shame.
yes, no, I'd go for it.
Question 1 then. The answer. Lwaxana's titles. Put them in the right order. Holder of Secret Chalice of Rix. The heir of Holy Rings of Beta Z. And daughter of the Fifth House. Tammykins. What would you say?
I mean, I felt confident, and then everybody else did something
CBA.
different.
Yeah,
CBA. The daughter
everyone
of
in
the
the chat-
Fifth House. Heir of the Holy Rings of Beta Z. And the holder of the Secret Chalice of Rix.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah, it
else.
was either that one or BCA, I think.
Or is it CAB? Daughter of the Fifth House, holder of the Sacred Chalice of Rings, and the heir of the Holy Rings of Beta Z. It's CAB.
Yay! Me and Sean were the only two that got that right. Then.
Oh, wow.
I was worried there because most people in the chat wrote can't be arsed. I was like, nobody even
Can't be asked. Or NFI, as Stuplum says. CBA or NFI. It's either.
I mean, I put
Anyway.
in CAB thinking, I'm pretty confident. And then everybody put something different. I was like,
When the CBA came up, I thought I was like, you're playing a trick on us because obviously CBA is like, I get it, but okay, I'll live with. I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone in live chat.
Points on the board.
The crew got you on that one.
Collusion.
Yeah, collusion. We'll just say, I just noticed the channel's got to 390 subs, so we're just 10 off 400.
Ooh, 10 off.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, feel free if you know anyone that likes Star Trek or, Captain's Log, we learned that the people of Kalon 2 are working to revitalize their dying sun. The Enterprise crew are assisting the Doctor to that end. Nice shot of the Enterprise cruising past.
Yeah, nice D pick.
I do like my D-picks. In the observation lounge, the senior staff meet with Dr. Timerson, who outlines his plan. He's modified some photon torpedoes, and they're heading to a similar star as a test site to test his theories
There's a little
out.
data there. Look, little data.
Look at the little data.
Look at him. He's there.
You can pick him up and put him in your pocket.
He's like, I'm here. I'm here.
Pocket data.
Right in the middle.
Early in the morning, all that damn makeup for 17 seconds.
Yeah.
A fully functional 17 seconds.
Yeah, we'll get onto that with one or two of the other characters later.
Although,
yeah.
sorry, no, I'm not even going to say it. Go on.
No, don't. Yeah. What?
No, yeah, it was just like it would be a strange cleanup. That's all I was thinking.
Okay, right. Stu Plum says he's buffering.
Yeah, it did just briefly before you changed this picture, but then it was okay again.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, we're good.
It's
We're good.
okay.
We're good. Okay. Right, Timerson tells them how he has been working on this for 40 years and is extremely grateful for this chance to prove his theories. On the bridge, Lwaxana's waiting for Deanna, making a nuisance of herself, irritating Worf. They have a funny little conversation. She's like, "What does this button do, Mr. Wolf?" "Please, madame, that is the torpedo launcher initiator. And it's Wolf, not Woof."
I kind of hope that actually I'd say I kind of hope, but you see like the ship's being taken over by the Kazon, whatever. You think they'd have the technology to just have fingerprint readers, so like only authorized people could launch a torpedo.
Yeah.
But no, if you just press the button, it just works. It's fine.
Or the computer would sample the DNA or something. There'd be something,
Yeah. No, just
She could just fire
Riker,
torpedoes.
Riker sits on it in NAS styles and just starts a new war. It's fine.
Yeah. The rest of the gang exit from the observation lounge, and it turns out that she's not waiting for her daughter, but she's waiting for Dr. Timerson. She tries to convince him to come and do something entertaining with her, but he's here to work, so Lwaxana gets asked to leave. Dr. Timerson can't believe she is old enough to be Troi's mother, as she's so vibrant. She certainly is vibrant.
Yeah, that's a very vibrant coloured dress she's wearing.
Yeah. And again, later in engineering, Geordie, Data, and Timmerson are working on his theories, and Lwaxana turns up with Hom carrying lunch. But question number 2. Mr. Hom is Lwaxana's valet and has only spoken in one episode. But what episode was it? Was it A, Manhunt, B, Menage a Trois, C, Haven, or D, Cost of Living? Was it Manhunt, Menage a Troi, Haven, or Cost of Living?
Dang it.
When did Hom say his one line in Star Trek?
The thought did occur to me. I only spoke in one episode earlier, and I never looked it up, so I'll have to take a guess.
And for an extra double points bonus, what was his line? If anybody can get that, you can get double points on this round. So there you go.
I can't remember what you said in what order.
I remember the line, but
sorry, here you go.
Can you put in the
That's the options
the
there.
answers?
A, Manhunt, B, Menage a Troi, C, Haven, or D, Cost of Living.
Was it You Rang?
You rang? Good guess. I'll let you know later. Right, so she tells them...
he played Lurch in the Addams Family. That's what I was getting at.
In the films, yeah. She tells them that they need to keep their energy up and eat something, and she sweeps all the paths off the central pool table. Data starts a long-winded agreement of why humans require nourishment, but Geordie cuts him off. Later, Lwaxana and Timmerson spend some time together, and we learn that Timmerson was married but lost his wife some time ago. They reach Lwaxana's quarters, and she goes to invite him in for a nightcap, but he refuses, despite the fact that she makes him laugh.
Like, nightcap? No thanks, I never wear them.
No. Look at that bald head, he doesn't need it.
That was from Naked Gun. Sorry, go on.
So, that was the end of Act 1. Is people still thinking about the question?
Well, you got to give me a second, because I was too busy putting in the ingredients, and I just realized, oh crap, the scene's over, and I haven't even thought about the question.
There is a Star Trek cookbook, and it does have a few recipes for Romulan ale and Aldebaran Risky and the like, if you're so interested.
I probably got it somewhere.
I'd imagine you do. In one of your many houses.
Yeah. Mazma Bob, Act 1. Was there anything...
Those pads are mostly reused from other episodes, but that's not that interesting.
I might say I could go through each pad and tell you which episode it come from, but they would be half an hour not well spent.
And Mr. Hom had one other role other than playing Mr. Hom in Star Trek. He played... Do you know in the episode with the circus in Voyager, where they in the simulation, there's like a big puppet with a smiley face that kind of grabs Harry Kim. He plays him as well.
Oh,
that's his only non-Hom appearance.
Non-Hom.
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 Yeah, I mean, all I was going to say was David Ogden. He's playing a 60-year-old there, but he's actually only 49.
Where?
Which is something.
Yeah, a bit like Richard Wilson. He was 56 in One Foot in the Grave.
And also, this is like, obviously, it's sort of still a little bit more flippant at this part of the episode, but Les Lando and Marina Sirtis both think that this episode, helps to bring a little bit more facets to Lwaxana's character in that she's always been almost like a total comedy role before this plot, and it sort of gives a little bit more depth.
Yeah, there's kind of a as we get to know her more, through this and through Deep Space Nine, she is kind of more of a tragic character. That there's a reason she is the way she is. That she's kind of almost living in a fantasy world because of all the kind of tragedies that happened to her. So. Yeah. Losing her husband, losing her first daughter, etc. So I can kind of understand why she doesn't quite live in the real world, and they've met people like that in real life, and they do exist. And anyway, It is what it is. They rounded the character well, and I like it. I think as a kid watching it, I used to hate these episodes, but now I start to get it. I go,
You do
yeah,
get
I
an
understand.
appreciation for them as you get older.
Yeah. That was
She's
all.
still just annoying to me.
But
she's not Data, you know, so.
But
I
she's
mean,
a tragic villain, should we say? You know, it's you understand why.
I feel like I need to send her some fully functional facts. Is that, ma'am, stop running around after all these motherfuckers. Data is fully functional, my dear. Stop by, get your stuff handled, have a good life.
Yeah, he's the Energizer Bunny. He can just keep going and going and going.
Sorry, Tavana, when I put it in chat, it does have spaces between it, but for whatever reason, after I post it, it takes the spaces out. I don't know why.
You could put in underscores, maybe.
Maybe.
Or,
hyphens.
Yeah, when I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's like dyslexia or whatever, but I go completely cross-eyed when I see like the number, the letters.
It's just going to take me a little while to.
Speaking of dyslexia, how you Chewy if you're in the chat?
There you go. I've done it, I think. Is that better?
Say again, Sean.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, we have a viewer who has dyslexia, and it goes by Chewy THX, I think, but he never comments because his dyslexia, he feels his dyslexia is too bad.
Oh yeah. Good evening, Chewy. If you're out there, good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well. I think I forgot to say.
Sir or ma'am, who knows?
Sir or ma'am, yeah. Okay, so question 2. Did we get a load of answers in? Was it Manhunt, Menage a Troi, Haven,
many answers,
cost of living? Well, you're going to get the answer now. So, Mr. Holm, what was the one episode he spoke in? And it was. We got B. It was Sea Haven.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Anyone that wrote C?
I was between A and C. That works. I had to go back and check what I wrote.
Yeah, Sea Haven. Oh, and I just realised the last picture you didn't see. You're still on the.
I did try for the line. I don't know if you can see the line.
You're meant to be on that picture there.
I concurred.
Which was the line?
It was something along the lines of, "Thank you for the drinks."
It was exactly "Thank you for the drinks."
Oh, nice.
Double points.
I said thanks for the drinks, so I didn't
That'll
get it
do.
quite
No,
right.
thanks for the drinks. That's correct. Yeah.
Was it? He was saying it to Picard, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he spent the whole time just like hoovering up the drinks, and it doesn't seem to affect him at all.
Can I just say this actor, you know, in the 90s would have been very busy and took time out of running the Soviet Union to come and star in
Mikhail.
Star Trek. It's very, very astonishing that you've managed to find the time.
Yeah, and grow a beard.
Yeah, that as well.
So yeah, well done, Tammy. I guess half points because I don't think you answered C, did you there, Maz?
I did. I changed it because I couldn't. I went back and put C because I mixed up Menage a Trois.
No, Mazza McBob. Mazza McBob.
Can you see it, Mazza? Does it count?
Yes, but no, he was talking to me. I'm the one who got it wrong.
Yeah, so you can have half. Sorry. You can have the bonus half because you got the line right. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Right, Act 2 then. On to Act 2, really. It's quite a short write-up this week, I have to say. Right, so Lwaxana's having a hard time picking out an outfit. She's excited about meeting with Timmerson, which pleases Deanna. But they go on to have a conversation about Deanna's own love life. And how her mother feels that she's not getting enough of companionship, shall we say?
Yep. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
And on the bridge, they start Dr. Timmerson's experiments, and Worf sends a volley of torpedoes into the star. We get a good shot.
Famous Riker lean.
Yeah, he's just kind of man-spreading there, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's taking the pressure off his back. That's why he
Yeah.
has his hands on his knees to push off the weight off his shoulders.
A great D shot of the Enterprise sending out volleys of torpedoes.
Nice shot of the
Pew, pew, pew.
nice shot of the Callisto, which is never referenced at all in the entire series.
Now, in engineering, Geordie and Timmerson are monitoring the star's progress, and at first, all seems to be going good. But then, and I put this bit in for obvious reasons, Data confirms.
Why is he at? Why is he at the con?
He's not. He's at his normal station.
Oh, it's just the angle.
It's
Okay,
just the angle. Sorry. They might have moved him to the left slightly to make it work.
Yeah. He's way over. Anyway, that's grand.
Yeah, Data confirms the progress and reports everything is in predicted parameters. But then he reports the temperature is still rising past where it should be.
Very good. Yes.
Yep. So
I got
you didn't have to change it so quickly.
Well,
and you could have spoken a bit.
Oh.
You could have spoken a bit slowly.
And I'm losing control.
Shush, Sean. I will go back to that picture in a second. But this picture is for question 3. Picard orders Helm to get them the hell out of there, but at what warp speed? Does he make it so on A, warp 1, warp 2, warp 3, or maximum warp? Helm, get us out of here. Warp A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, maximum warp. And I will put that in chat.
Pull my finger.
So annoying.
I will
It's
put
like,
spaces
then
in
when they
between
laid in
the
a course
thing
for Kalon 2, I wrote down what warp they were at, but I didn't write down what warp they were at for this bit.
Monty, are you copying from Notepad into chat?
Word.
Okay, that's all right then. Because Notepad doesn't copy formatting. That's what I was thinking.
No, but what it is if it was from Notepad, it'd be fine because it'd be using plain text. But because I'm copying it from Word, it's a proprietary text format. And so when I'm copying from Word proprietary into plain text in the chat, it's getting its conversion in a twiddle.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. That's the tech babble on why it's not working.
Yeah, who needs Geordie when you have nerds? Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a nice picture. I'll go backwards whilst you're putting your...
He's definitely sitting like dead center, straight in line with... I get it. It's to get the shot in on a 4-3 basis, but yeah, that's not where the console is.
Oh, oh my God.
How are you going to be tipsy?
Before my computer problems.
I thought you were on lemonade.
Hard lemonade.
Oh,
hard lemonade.
You know what hard lemonade means?
I didn't get the hard lemonade. I just heard lemonade.
And she gave me the recipe and everything.
Oh, where's the recipe?
1 part fresh lemon juice, 2 parts carbonated apple sparkling water, actually, and 2 parts gin. I don't think I should have made it 2 parts gin because that's a liter.
Is that in chat somewhere?
Yeah, it is in chat.
Oh.
Wait, so
sounds yummy.
Trying to find it. Oh yeah, 1 part fresh lemon juice, 2 parts carbonated. Oh right, 2 parts gin.
It is green.
Hmm.
This is revolting. More, please.
Please. Please. Well, it's better than your what's the is it Leaf Fromage or what was the wine you had the other day?
It was like Eiffel Pfeiffer or
Leaf
something
milk
ridiculous.
Or something.
The most pretentious name I'd seen on a wine bottle yet.
Yeah. Hey, Wookie. There he is. Hey, he's listening. Oh, bless him. Oh, thanks for joining us, Wookie.
Oh, Wookie.
Sorry, I called you Chewy. Wookie is what it is.
Wookie. Yeah, Chewy's over here. I don't know if you can see him.
Yeah, that's what's happening there. That's where I'm getting confused.
Hi, Wookie.
There's your brother over there. Look on the sofa. There he is.
Chewbacca.
He's asleep. Look, bless him.
But this is impressive. We had guesses of A, B, and C so far. Oh no, I was wrong. It was B, C, and D. I thought we had A, B, and C, so I went for D just to be different. But no,
you know-
it's BC, it is BC and D we've got.
Do you know
so
George
everyone's
Lucas
different.
based Chewbacca on his dog? And do you happen to know what his dog was called?
Chewie?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. Oh, yes, because that's where he got the whole... I thought that was the name of the dog.
No, the
Yeah.
dog was called Indiana. Yeah, he had a dog called Indiana, and he based Chewie and obviously took the name.
Yeah. So, right, moving on. If you've looked... I've given you data for long enough now. We're going to move on.
There is no such thing. I
know.
am offended.
I know.
Cancel culture
Data,
starts now.
B4, lower, Chewie,
Yeah.
AI, Union, Arik.
Yeah.
Thor.
Woo!
So,
She's doing it to me, Sean.
some
You're
more.
getting her all hot and bothered. Okay, so Dr. Timerson thanks Picard and the crew for the opportunity. He was most grateful. And Picard orders the ship to return to Kalon 2. He kind of says that whilst tearing up in the eyes. It's a bit sad. So he goes to 10 forward to drown his sorrows. And Lwaxana goes and joins him. Oh, that reminds me. The little Bandai toy game thing.
Yeah, it's a little pyramid Camco game thing.
You never guess what?
If you ever find one of those...
I found one. There's one currently on eBay. Here we go.
What, for like $500?
It is £385.
Yeah, that's about $500.
So anyone out there,
Yeah,
Ruth,
if you ever see one in the wild, buy it.
if you want to buy me a Christmas present, there you go.
Oh my God.
If you ever see
It's a game from the future.
Yep.
If you ever see a house sale and they're selling a load of crap from the 80s and you see one of those, buy it because it'll go for a fortune on eBay. There's a model of cups. They're called Bodrum cups, and it's like a glass. It's the one that Picard uses for his tea, and it's glass. It's got like a plastic frame that it clips into. Again, if you can ever find them, they're actually quite common. But if you can find them, get them. I actually had them in my house growing up.
Yeah, I've got a set.
And Janeway was using them in the last episode of Prodigy because she's now moved on to tea. Funnily enough.
Yeah. So I found one finally after many years of looking. £385. Don't think I'll be
You
getting
think
one.
someone would just 3D print a copy? I mean, I wouldn't be worried about the electronics too much, but it'd be a pretty cool thing to have.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, scene 10 forward. Lwaxana joins him to try to cheer him up, but it doesn't help. She goes to leave, but he asks her to stay. He tells her he wishes that they had met years ago because he's now returning home to die. And that's the end of Act 2.
So when they were doing the tests, they had a bit of a homage on the LCARS screen. I think the camera focused on it a few times, and it had 4077 on it, which you might think is a hidden 47 reference, but it's not. It was a reference to the fact that in MASH they were in the 477th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital Unit.
Yeah.
4070, yeah, 400. Yeah,
407, yeah.
But it does double as a hidden 47, kind of. I realize it's not the intention, but it still works.
Yeah.
Also, I love this futuristic lighting that has a bulb directly in the center of the table that just blends out to the edges. That's definitely a modern bulb and not something from the incandescence that we had up until very recently.
I know this it doesn't have to do with the scene and whatnot, but I really enjoyed dude's acting. Cause dude was straight up choked up the whole time. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's acting. This dude's having some serious problems. Y'all need to turn the cameras off for a minute, talk to him. But he was doing good.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
He was really good in it, I thought. He was quite captivating.
Yeah, I'd say he's Shakespearean, he's classically trained or what have you.
He absolutely is, yeah.
But Garrett Wang was saying on the Delta Flyers podcast, he was saying, people give out about TV acting versus film acting. And the difference is when you make a film, you get 30 or 40 or 50 takes, and you make sure you get it right. But on a TV show, you just don't have the budget and the time for that. So, you get 2, maybe 3 takes, and then you move on. And if it's not right, you're just stuck with it. So, you're not judging apples and apples. It's apples and oranges very much. Although that's changing now. Sorry,
I had to stop myself.
I'm just gonna say,
them.
Discovery episodes take like nearly a month to make each episode, and they have 8 or 9 million of a budget. So it's kind of getting to the stage where TV almost has film budgets.
Yeah, well, you have the Rings of Power, which are like it's a billion dollar budget or something.
Yeah, it's
that.
like 30 million an episode. Yeah, it's.
I got a question. You're not going to mention some fruits that Lwaxana Troi brings up later, are you?
No.
Or whatever she gets from the
Is that good?
replicator.
No.
Oh no, he was saying it's like comparing apples and apples. You're not comparing apples and apples. I'm sorry if I can't speak properly right now.
It's your lemonade. It's fine. It's fine.
But it's like, he was saying apples and apples, and he went to oranges, and I was like, or ascoids.
Yeah, Oscoids, yeah. Yes, Two Takes Frakes, yeah, Ruth. Jonathan Frakes films don't take a lot of time on each scene. Yeah.
And that's why the Thunderbirds movie is a cinematic masterpiece. I muddled that. Everyone remembers it fondly, if they remember it at all.
Absolutely. No, I don't remember it.
It had a soundtrack from Busted. No, nothing. All right.
No. Okay, so question 3 then.
That is true. By the way. Sorry, Quad.
Sorry, I should have given you a one of those sound effects. There you go. Okay, so Picard orders Helm to get to what warp speed? Was it 1, 2, 3, or maximum warp? What do we have? What did people
We
say?
had a mix, B's, C's, D's.
Ooh. Well, I can tell you that it wasn't warp 1. It wasn't maximum warp, so it's not D. It also wasn't warp 3, C, because it was warp 2, B. So anyone that said B, congratulations.
I said B.
Duplementary.
I had it in my head it was
B
warp
for
5.
booty, butt cheeks.
But like realistically, if a sun's about to explode, warp 1 will do you because you're traveling the speed of light. So
Yes, or faster.
And the sun will
I
only
think.
explode. So you no matter, unless another ship, a fast and light ship, is traveling after you, warp 1 will always do. There's no reason to push the engines any harder.
Yeah. B for booty butt cheeks. Yeah. Okay, so Act 3 then. Going on to Act 3. The Enterprise has returned to Kalon 2, and in the ready room, Picard, Riker, and Data. Hey, Data. Reporting back to Science Minister Batardat.
I'm into this scene.
Riker tells him that if they isolate the problem, another test might be successful. Batardat tells them that won't be possible, as Timothy needs to return home, and it's going to take some time to find his replacement. He thanks them for their efforts and ends the call. An annoyed Lwaxana Troi enters and tells them that Timothy is going home to commit suicide. But why? That's question number 4. Why is Timothy heading home to commit suicide? Is it A, because he failed to save their son? Is it B, because he touched an alien without wearing appropriate gloves? Was it C, because his veins are covering his face? Or was it D, because he's about to turn 60?
Don't let the sun go down on me.
Thank you, Sean.
Bit of Monty.
In a singing mood.
Sorry.
He is.
I used to live in Germany, and anytime someone would say "thank you, Sean," so when someone says "danke schön," you say "bitte, Sean."
Bitte Sean.
So if someone said thank you, Sean," like "danke, Sean,"
Yeah.
I would say "bitte, Monty,"
Yeah.
just to confuse them.
Yeah.
It's not funny when you have to explain it.
No.
Thank you, Sean.
You know what sound effect you're getting at the moment.
The bell tolls.
The bell tolls.
Don't ask for who the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Taxi.
Okay, I've had too much to drink, so you really got to put those option ins, or I'm not going to understand.
Oh gosh.
Gotta get those in, Because
This-
I know the answer, but I'm like, wait, what number? What number? No, letter. No, you're doing letters. What letter are you doing this on?
Well, you can just
I
type
am
it in.
so sorry,
that's
sweetie.
acceptable.
My guy is going, she's had too much Brinovine.
Right.
This might
There you
go
go.
downhill quick.
I've quickly stuck that in. Excuse the if I've typed any of that wrong, but there we go. Is it
So in this scene here, like,
yes.
oh, sorry, you're
No, go on.
the question.
No.
So she's sort of saying, this is happening or whatever. I want you to intervene. And Picard says, I can't, I've got no jurisdiction. And he talks about the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
And she says, it's your Prime Directive, not mine.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's interesting. Like, so Beta Z is part of the Federation of Planets, right? So the Prime Directive, is that just what's governed over Starfleet, or is that part of the Federation of Planets? Like, what's the jurisdiction of that?
I
as
believe
well?
it's a Starfleet thing, not a Federation of Planets.
Because she's not in Starfleet, she doesn't have to abide by it.
Yeah, it's one of the principles of the sort of Starfleet Navy. Right. I know it's not a Navy, but it's kind of their thing.
Also, she's a diplomat. She can do whatever the hell she likes. She has no, she's diplomatic immunity.
She has
she can do what she doesn't really matter.
Diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity. Just been revoked.
Yeah.
Sorry for the two people in chat that get that. Sorry to everyone else.
Yeah, apologies.
Lethal Weapon 4, 3?
I got that, Sean.
3,
I got that, Sean. Or
Sean.
I believe I got it.
Sean, 3.
The one when Riggs tries to emigrate to South Africa.
Yeah.
So my friend wants to go to South Africa.
I hear it's good.
Yeah, so anyone who hasn't seen Lethal Weapon 3, the black guy in it tries to move to South Africa during apartheid, and comedy ensues.
Murdoch.
Anyway.
Murdoch.
Thank you.
Murdoch.
Murdoch, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, so, that's why I put it in chat. People answer. Picard looks for confirmation from Data. Oh, we want to change picture, don't we? Because it's probably got Data in this picture, so we better get it changed.
Data! We need more data. Yes. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Oh, look at them frown lines.
Picard looks for confirmation from Data, but Data says that they are xenophobic isolationists, so there's not enough data.
So
never enough data.
Which made me think. That made me think, when he said that, because it's Kalon 2 and they're xenophobic isolationists, right? And in the Orville,
Kalon.
He made the sort of robotic race, the android race.
Yeah, the Kalons.
They're called Kalons, and they're from Kalon 1. Their planet was Kalon 1, and this was Kalon 2.
It's no secret that McFarlane.
The people on Kalon 1 were xenophobic isolationists. Yeah, so.
If you've not seen the Family Guy episode where he has the whole TNG crew back together, or his fan films from when he was a teenager, or the fact that he tried to buy the rights for Star Trek before Discovery happened to try and make his own show, and then they didn't give it to him, and he made the Orville instead, which is better for everybody. He's a huge Star Trek fan, and obviously he had a recurring role in Enterprise amongst everything else. So.
It's good because it means we ended up with 2 Star Treks.
Yeah,
we have another Star Trek now. It's great.
Orville is fantastic, and it's a better show than Discovery in every way.
Sorry, Sean.
I'll watch Discovery when it's on, but
you're not appreciating Data's chest span enough. So come on, dude. Appreciate the chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How much blood wine have you drank tonight, Sean?
I finished the bottle there. So.
Oh my gosh. Right. So anyway, that Data obviously provides a report on the planet. Lwaxana pleads with Picard to interfere, and as we said, Picard refuses because of the Prime Directive. She tells him it's not her Prime Directive, and she goes and marches off. In the transporter room, she tries to get O'Brien to beam her down, but he won't, and she claims to be being held prisoner on this ship. Deanna enters and tries to calm her mother down, and O'Brien takes it as his cue to leave, but not before locking the transporter.
Also, I didn't notice it before, but that shot was like the door's not closed properly. It's like, who's in charge of the doors? Your parents?
I think possibly that might be because Deanna's
I got
about
that
to walk
shot.
in.
I got that shot.
Anyway.
They're just like almost close it, just leave a little crack of light through. It's like,
Yeah, we do that all the time. Right.
you
Yeah.
want to annoy a teenager? It's a
Yeah.
good way to go about it.
She can't reconcile why someone should die for no good reason. She thinks it's awful how his family would treat his life like it had no meaning or value. Deanna tells her mum that she won't die before she dies, which seems to make her feel a lot better. And they hug on the transport pad.
It's like, I didn't quite get that line. You won't die
before
before
you
you really
die.
die. And that's sort of like saying, like, your body won't die until your spirit and everything else is dead, and then finally your body will wither away and die. I don't know. It didn't really sound like the positive that she took it to be.
I don't know. She kind of like solved everything. She was like, oh, yeah, phew. I won't
yeah.
die before I die.
I mean, I understood
Okay.
that line, but I thought it was strangely placed. Like, have you been listening to her, to Diana? This just has nothing to do with it. Because she's basically saying you won't give up on life
Yeah.
before you've actually died, like this guy. But that's not what she's talking about. She's talking about being upset about this guy dying when he's still got a lot to live for. So it's like Diana is one of those people. She's probably stopped listening because it's her mom. But she got to come back in and make a comment, but she's kind of off. But for some reason, it just resonates with the mom because she's so freaking messed up right now.
Like,
she had the most meh cry ever in this scene. I'm like, my heartstrings aren't pulling for you, honey. You got a really bad, ugly cry.
It's if you, it's the kind of cry that if you turn down the edges of your mouth and then try laughing. Is that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Talk about running out of time, and Deanna's like, "This is no time to talk about time. There is no time."
And one of the things that, I mean, this has nothing to do with her crying, but in like the last sort of episode that Lwaxana was in, she had, quite a big hairdo, and in a lot of later episodes, she has really elaborate hair pieces. And in this episode, her hair just looks kind of really normal and flat and not very Lwaxana-y.
Maybe it's a budget thing. I don't know. Maybe it's to make her look more vulnerable. Because this was a complete change in her character, from previous episodes.
Yeah, true. They're trying to make her less comedic, so I guess they wanted to make her more relatable.
I think obviously in later episodes they kind of leaned back towards the middle maybe a little bit, and they had the ridiculous and the vulnerable at the same time.
And she did have a good go with Mr. Timmerson, so she probably didn't have time to get that.
What
the hair did.
What's the episode Kirsten Dunst? Is that before or after this? The one where she finds out Deanna finds out she had an older sister. She'd forgotten all about it. Later, okay, yeah. So it's obviously leading on from this.
That's literally season 7, I think.
Oh, is it that late? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
When you watch all these things over and over again on tapes, you can never remember the order of them.
And Ruth points out that she might not have an elaborate wig, but she still wears a ball gown daily. That's a good point.
It's a good point. It's one of those gowns again that looks like the collar's like an open mouth.
When she was dressing for her date earlier, the 3 dresses she was looking at were all previously featured, including the one that the Ferengi gave her to try and tempt her into a relationship or tempt her into a thing. So even though she thought she was sleazy Ferengi, she still kept the dress and considered wearing it.
As soon as you said tempt her into there, my brain said coitus. You can tell I've been watching Big Bang Theory.
You have. You must have been watching Big Bang. Yeah.
I have been. Yeah.
Actually, just Mark Hamill came out on Twitter the other day talking about Will Wheaton, and Mark Hamill in the one of the finale episodes of The Big Bang Theory, Mark Hamill turns around to Will Wheaton and goes, "I've never heard of you before. I don't know who you are." And he actually just came out and said, "It actually really hurt to say that line. I knew exactly who you were, and I really liked your stuff."
Aw.
I was like, ah.
Was it the one where Sheldon gets married? And originally he gets Will to preside over it, but then they get Luke Skywalker.
Brent,
sorry, Will.
Brent Spiner, Mark Hamill, Will Wheaton. I think I can't forget. There's a couple of people. I think Kevin Smith is in that episode. They play Dungeons and Dragons or something. I don't know. I need to watch it again.
Anyway, moving on. Lwaxana visits Timmerson in his quarters as he's pacing, wondering what went wrong with his experiment. She hugs him and tells him that she is a hateful woman and disagrees with what he's going to do. He wishes she'd accept the way of his world, but she won't, and they kiss. And that's the end of Act 3. But going back to question 4, why is Timmerson going home to end himself? Was it A, because he failed with the sun experiments, B, because he touched an alien without wearing gloves, C, because the veins are gradually covering his face, or was it D, because he turned 60? Hopefully we've got a lot of D's in chat, because this is a bit of a given. Yeah,
Can't get enough D. There's not enough D in this episode.
Not enough D.
And at the moment in the rankings,
not enough songs, not enough D.
Tavikins is in the lead with Sean and Stuplum in second place.
Look at her face. No, she's so happy.
Right
she's so happy. Oh dear.
I gotta see. I feel like she went at this the wrong way because he's like turning. Wait, no. Did you answer the question yet?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we done it. Yep, 60. Yeah.
Don't laugh at me, Master. Okay. So
he's turning. Yeah, no.
Wait, he's turning 60. I didn't want to get that. Just to make sure he's turning 60, right? And this is a problem. But you're 60 for a whole freaking year. She could have been, if she was so smart of a diplomat, why didn't she be like, look, you're turning 60. Is there any way you could be 60 for the year and just work up until that last 60 day? Because then you're not 61 yet. Just do it on the last day you're 60 for your next birthday. Why do you have to do it right when you turn 60?
Well, I guess
she could have been a diplomat and kind of worked that.
It's the established thing, isn't it? You know, that's the thing. Because you
got some extra D.
You're actually always counting a year behind, aren't you? Because like when you're 0, you're actually in your first year. So by the time you turn 1, you're actually starting your second year. So
yeah, in Korea they basically you're 9 or you're a year old when you're born because they basically treat you.
You're in your first year.
And they add a year. So if you like, my birthday's in October. So if I was born in October 85, but by January 86 I would have been 2, even though I was only 3 or 4 months old, because of the way their system works. You're 1 when you're born, and you're 1 again. You add a year again when the new calendar year comes around.
They're weird. Right. So anyway, was there anything else for Act 3 before I move on to Act 4?
I don't think so.
No, fabulous. Okay then, Act 4. Get out a picture.
We're going on to Act 4, Monty, but I believe last time it was made very clear that despite not having data-centric episodes, you would at least maybe create a cache of data photos just to put up there, just to fill in the space, because we're like talking a lot sometimes, and that could be time for data to be on the string, because this is like, it's really pulling on me. It's hurting me. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Yeah. You know how many episodes have not been data-centric?
Stare at him right now.
Panko agrees with your previous comment that we need a data episode.
We do.
You gotta.
Really do.
I got issues. Okay, well, I'm here for a reason. The only reason I came to this site was the Brothers episode, and then I got hooked, but there's not enough data.
Okay, well, in 3 weeks' time, you're going to be very happy.
Think of it as a Christmas present.
Yeah, we're getting into that, yeah.
Hey, on that Korean age thing, Ruth says that she's never been 24 because she went to Korea age 23. And while she was over there, she was, she came back 25, but she was 25 the whole time she was over there when she was actually 24. And then she came back and she was still 25 because she went right back to, English age. So she was never actually 24. She was just 25 for 2 years.
Cool. I wonder what people born on the 29th of February have to do. Like, I just every 4 years I get to age.
Well, if you ever saw the musical The Pirates of Penzance, the whole plot is based around that. A guy gets apprenticed to the pirates until his 21st birthday, and he turns 21 and he decides to try and go back into normal life and not live the horrible life he had. But it turns out he was born on the 29th of February, so he's only 5.
I'm sure
So
there's some other sort of series where somebody is like they have their 40th birthday, but they say it's their 10th birthday because they've only had 10 birthdays because of the leap year, and they insist on having it like a 10th birthday party even though they're actually 40.
So
I can't remember what it's in. It's in film or something.
I thought it might have been
Series?
Modern Family, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yes, it was Modern Family.
Was
I'm
it
pretty sure it's Modern Family.
the gay couple, the LJ one? Wasn't it his birthday? Wasn't it the LJ guy?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
God.
Okay.
Name.
Moving on. During the night, she watches him sleep, which is not creepy at all. He wakes up with a sense of being watched, and he tells her how people used to get old and frail and got put into death watch facilities, and sometimes for years, and they're no longer that cruel. Lwaxana is dismissive, though, telling him, no one just... Now you just kill them and remove the problem. She thinks children are there to care for you when you're old. That's the whole point of having them. They argue back and forth some time, and as to why it's 60, wouldn't your grandkids benefit from you being around? Beta Z women used to wear animal cages on their heads, but they don't now. You need to be around to finish your work and save the planet, etc., etc. But none of it does any good.
I have to say, this kind of hit home for me because my father's 76 and he lost his wife, my stepmother, before Christmas there. And he's not heavily disabled, but a lot of things he just can't do for himself. And I, by almost default, live near him, so I'm the one who looks after him. And yeah, I completely understand where he's coming from in that. It's like, yeah, he spent 18 years making sure I was right, and now it's my turn to look after him, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's done without question, and it's just you don't have to explain to anyone why you're doing it. You just do it because it has to be done, and that's it.
However, our mum, Mazza and our mum, always says that when she turns 80, she wants us to take her to, was it Vivitas or wherever it is in Switzerland, to end it all. So I don't want to go any further. That'll do me.
I mean, and this is where this
Our
episode
mum's
really
dark.
starts to ask some of those moral questions. I don't think the concept of euthanasia is that dark. I agree with him that when you get really, really to like a complete state where you can't do anything, that's not a nice place to be, is it? And I think,
no, it's not.
This is where this episode really starts to sort of make you think about things. But I do think 60 seems incredibly young.
There was a landmark case in, I think it was the Netherlands, and I might be half remembering this wrong, but anyway, there was a pair of twins and they were born deaf genetically, but then they found out in their 40s they were both losing their sight as well. So not only were they deaf, they were also going to be blind, and they pursued a case because they wanted to die, because they said the idea of being both deaf and blind, he said there was no quality of life at all in that, and they just wanted to go. And I think they won in the end, and that's part of the reason why Europe is changing its laws. But it's dark enough, but it's like, well, if you can't see and you can't hear, it's like, where's the quality in life? You may as well just, well, depending on your personal opinion, if you want to go, you should be allowed to do so.
I have a fully functional fact.
Oh, okay, go on then.
Fully functional fact for this episode. It's been a while, but Patrick Stewart actually is a promoter of assisted death, because he had a heart issue that will kill him, and he believes instead of wasting away, he should have the right to end his life when he decides. So Patrick Stewart right now is a ticking time bomb. That's basically his heart. And if he had the option, he would have appreciated being able to terminate his life when he decided to, but it's not legal in the UK, and he thinks it should be worldwide.
Patrick Stewart is, what is he? He's 82, so, well, you never know. He's in exceptional shape for his age. He could live another 20 years, but but certainly I think it's more about dementia and stuff,
Yeah, for sure.
If you're a victim, or if you're trapped in your own body and you're not really there, I don't know. Look, it's
The problem, though, if it gets to that stage, is you're not in a fit state to be able to make those choices for
yeah,
yourself.
you need to be able to.
That's where
when
you
it's,
get into all these blurry lines of, moral debate. If you have like a living will or something, something expressing your wishes.
yeah,
something
that you're willing to pass on that decision to your children or whatever. Yeah, but you should be able to say, look, if I go, that my children can make that call. Yeah, I'd be happy enough with that.
Yeah.
Good evening, G-Star. But
G-Star's in the
before
house.
it gets all negative
Sorry,
and
we've got
sad,
dark
Gone
here.
dark.
Sorry.
This is a dark conversation.
how about we go ahead and make sure everybody clicks that like button on this episode in case you haven't already. Get your sip. We'll take a minute. Go ahead and click that like. Click that like.
Sometimes mine doesn't show the right number, but mine says 4 at the moment. That can't be right.
Mine is 10.
Oh, there you go.
Go up.
The more you hit that like button, the more Tavikins drinks her lemonade. So, okay. So moving on then. After that dark conversation, Timothy calls enough is enough. Lwaxana as the last word, though, by pointing out that if that is the case, then why not just let your planet die? If it's time, let it die. And that sets him a thinking. But question number 5, how many children did Lwaxana have? How many children did Lwaxana have? And this is kind of outside of TNG a little bit, because I'm kind of looking at the whole of Star Trek. How many children did Lwaxana have in the end? Was it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4? 1, 2, 3, or 4. How many children did Lwaxana have?
Did someone say B4?
B4? No, B2.
Thank you, Sean. We need more.
She appreciated
We need
it.
more song in our life, and I just needed that.
She appreciated
Sean,
you.
I got you.
It seems
Got
Sung
you.
has lost his lore for whimsical names.
Do you want me to put that into chat there?
Yes,
So,
because
yeah.
my tipsy behind has already forgotten the weird
Why does Riker
confabulation.
There you go.
furry face?
There you go. Okay, there we go. There's your answers in chat. So, in engineering, Timmerson continues looking into the failure with Data and Geordi. He theorizes it could be down to neutron migration, of course. But he doesn't have the time to work on it. Not now, God damn it. So, he goes to Picard and asks for asylum. And that was the end of Act 4. Do we have any other things about Act 4 there, Mazam and Bob?
Yeah, I don't know if it's specifically about Act 4. There were some, I mean, I don't know, Monty Ban, you're sort of good with astrophysics stuff, but there's some stuff about stars and 220 million Kelvin, and this would never be the main thing for a star. It would be ejecting large amounts of matter. More likely it was in the final phase of its life and it would explode. I don't know. So there's some stuff around that the science doesn't add up for those.
The thing is, with a star, when it starts dying, because it doesn't have enough hydrogen through nuclear fusion to convert to helium, so it starts fusing helium into other materials, and again those materials into other materials, and it becomes like a chimney belching out carbon and heavy metals and all sorts of things into the solar system around it, until such times as those things start collapsing in on itself and the star kind of explodes.
Yeah, so there's kind of two things that can happen with a star depending on various factors. It can either collapse in on itself and become a black hole that it spews out so much that it gets tighter and tighter and tighter and darker and squeezes and squeezes and squeezes until it rips through time and space. Or the other side of it is it spews so much crap out that it doesn't have the gravity to hold itself together, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get red giants.
Red giants, yeah. It should be either be. Well, it could be a red giant, no matter the outcome, whether it goes supernova and completely annihilates itself, or collapses in. It should still be a red giant, really.
But basically, I'm no expert by any means, but basically stars go either two ways. They either collapse in themselves and become a black hole, or they explode out and become like a red dwarf. Like our star in like our star Sol, the sun, will actually expand to the point where it just completely goes over the Earth when it goes in about 4 or 5 billion years.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if anybody is going, what the heck are these guys talking about? And I can't keep up. There is a fabulous YouTube channel that gives you a crash course in the very basics of astronomy. I might have to put that in the link there, but it's really cool because when you look back on these episodes, you start to understand some of the bits that they're using are actually NASA based, but depending on the time period, it's not NASA based because they didn't know that stuff by the time this episode aired. So it's really cool, and you also not go cross-eyed when Sean and
I would recommend
start explaining these things.
I would recommend Star Talk. Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Very entertaining, and he explains it really simply in a way you can get it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good one.
And also
nerd it up.
degrees Kelvin is just known as Kelvin. Not
Kelvin.
degrees Kelvin.
Yeah. Which is also same scale as Celsius, but starts
But then again,
absolute
you could
zero rather than the freezing point of water at sea level, which is what Celsius is based on.
Then again, if you said it's 17 Celsius or 52 Fahrenheit, nobody would misunderstand what you meant. Why do we need to put degrees in there? It's redundant.
Yeah. Question 5 then. Going back to question 5, how many children did Lwaxana have? I thought people wouldn't get this right. I thought I've got everyone with this. They're never going to get it right.
Everybody answered C.
You did until you mentioned the larger part of the thing, and Odo having to, and then I remember Odo having to marry Lwaxana for the kid.
For the boy, yeah. Exactly. So yes.
Season 1 or season 2 of DS9, I can't remember the name of the episode.
We already mentioned the other daughter.
Yeah. One
drowned
that's not current.
Season
the one that's
7.
not Currents and Dunst. Yeah.
Yes. So it is C3. So well done, everyone. Congratulations. Okay.
Another just general thing is,
yeah.
in terms of like trivia, a lot of people have said this story was inspired by this story was inspired, but I mean, there's basically, about half a dozen things that people say this story is inspired by because, of course, aging is something that everybody is concerned with and thinks about, and so it has been the center of a lot of different stories. But there was a novel, The Fixed Period, written in the 1880s. There was a Twilight Zone episode called The Happy Place, which executes citizens at 60. There was also Logan's Run, which was similar.
Logan's
at
Run,
30.
yeah.
And there was also a novel, Pebble in the Sky by Isaac Asimov, which was also about a future Earth where people were required to end their lives at the age of 60. So, this has been, quite a bit of a theme, I guess, in science fiction writing.
And I can bring the whole Logan's Run thing full circle because in the episode, and someone will tell me the name, where Q lets Picard go back to his academy days and not get stabbed through the heart.
By a Nausicaan.
By an Oscan. When he's sitting in his Starfleet Academy quarters, the background image is the miniature from Logan's Run.
It's a matte painting. From
is it a matte painting?
That is awesome.
It's a matte painting from Logan's Run. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I thought it was really strange in this episode when they were bringing up 60, because I thought it would have been also another good opportunity for either Captain Picard or even Lwaxana Troi to look at these people and be like, hey, you guys are new to communicating with the Federation, but you do know like the rest of us are living to like 120, right?
Yeah. McCoy's on the first episode and he goes, you don't get to live to 129 or something, by... I can't remember the exact quote, but he does actually mention his age and it's somewhere in the 120s.
What's so goddamn wrong on not having died?
Yeah, I was like, you guys need to up your health care. Be like, would you guys at least be open to doubling that, just 120, and we guys help you out with your health care issues because you got issues.
Yeah.
If your shit's going downhill at 60.
Considering he's 49 in this episode as an actor, he could have been playing 47. That one.
Yeah,
they could have made it 47.
And along that same line, Tavakins, is I think there would be an argument to say, okay, you're going to draw a line in the sand, but natural advances in medical technology means that age life expectancy and health in general improves over time. So, you shouldn't have it as a fixed thing. It should gradually go up over time as healthcare improves and people's health improve, and as lifespans increase.
It does
Or
require.
at
It
least
does
have some
require.
exception, like put it.
Sorry, it does require an advancement in science, though, because we've never actually really increased our lifespans. We've increased our ability to not die by solving cancers, solving heart problems, solving diseases, but we're now just living out our lives to the maximum that humans cells can divide and whatnot. We haven't done anything to actually extend the human life beyond what it's designed to do.
I think the oldest humans, and it's hard to tell because the written records aren't that good when you go back that far, but the oldest humans are generally in the 120 to 130 range, and I don't want to live that long.
No, but I think
80 is more than enough for me.
Old, right? But now
80
80
is a solid
old,
number.
So
in the Old Testament, some people live for like 700 years.
Yeah, you get bored, just.
And everything gets annoying. But I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Harold and Maude. That's one where there's this beautiful eccentric lady that falls in love with this extremely younger guy, and he's very strange as well. But she has this off comment that she thinks 80 is the perfect time to call it quits, and that's just like our personal mantra. But I recommend Harold and Maude.
I wonder if our mum watched that film.
Maybe, because she is obsessed with the 80 figure. That's her time out.
Also in China as well. China, I believe you get to wear red at the funeral if you make it to 80 because it's a triumph that you got to live that long.
Okay, so I did miss this picture. It came up in one of my other browsers that I've got open here. So you missed this picture as I was talking, and you also missed this picture. So I put them up, but you didn't actually see them. Not that it really matters, but I'm a completer finisher. I need to get that out of my system.
So
you can go back one. Thank you.
I was just gonna interrupt slightly and say the Golden Girls, which is obviously famous about retirees.
Golden Girls, yeah.
Eddie White and Bay Arthur were both 63 years old when the
Yes.
series began.
I know.
And the youngest one was 51, but they were all supposedly retired.
Yeah.
People in the 80s just aged different. They smoked a lot more back then.
And the mum, who was supposed to be the oldest one, was actually one of the youngest of the lot. Just the little old lady. Right, Act 5. Act 5. Come on, picture. Load up, will you?
Tricor. Actually, I looked them
We
up
don't
on Twitter
need any
and they made
picture.
no announcement.
No, I don't know. It's weird. I have not seen any information.
No, they still
about
haven't made an announcement, so I guess, I don't know, maybe they don't know.
So they contact Batardat, and who is incredulous about Timmerson's refusal to end his life. He sends 2 Kalon warships to the Enterprise. I wonder if they're ball-shaped. And warn Picard, if he attempts to leave with Timmerson, they will open fire. And then Batardat ends the call.
Yeah, that looks like something you get flowers in or something. Terrariums.
Timmerson thinks he handled it poorly and questions if he's done the right thing. He tells Picard Lwaxana is a woman of extraordinary conviction, and Picard's like, oh yeah, she is.
She's a woman, extraordinary conviction.
We see, I forgot his name, the tigerfish swimming around in the background there.
I forget the name. It's Livingston.
Is it Livingston?
Livingston. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well done. Livingston. Yeah.
She's a lady.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa, she's a lady.
On the bridge, they are monitoring the incoming warships. Timmerson doesn't want any bloodshed, and Dr. Crusher thinks they should get out of the way now and leads him off the bridge. It's like, wow.
Do you know that was her only line in the entire episode
was-
as well? She also got to say like 5 words.
That's quite funny because Sean said it earlier on, she must have spent like ages in makeup and whatnot, like to get ready for this scene. And it's just like, I think we need to go now. That's it. That's the scene.
Apparently there were originally 2 lines in the script, but she only ended up actually...
And that looks like her natural hair because, as I said, for most of the show she did wear a wig, but because of the way it's pulled back and you can see her scalp, that looks like her natural hair. Maybe they just didn't bother with the wig because she was only in it for a minute. I don't know. But you think it'd be easier just put the wig on her and move on. But yeah, I don't think you could have a wig and then have the hair pulled back like that. It doesn't look right.
Don't know.
Also, Worf, you're not looking at a console. There's no console there. You're staring at a piece of wood.
Yes, I was going to say that, actually. This whole scene, Worf is like stood ridiculously off to the left of the arc.
But it's so he can be in the middle.
But there's a spot here for him to go, look. It is normal.
Yeah, but
Yeah, there
there is.
is.
In the
He could've
middle.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be in the middle. The muddy middle.
I love how in Generations they had to give him a stool because when they converted to widescreen, then he was kind of out of frame, so they had to give him a stool to make him sit down so it would work.
But literally,
Took
the
him 7
arc,
years to get it.
by his left leg here, the arc is like literally down by his knee.
Well, whereas right hand is, he might be barely be able to touch the console, but he's just tapping the outside of it.
Anyway, so the Doctor leads him off the bridge. We get this great shot, which I put in for no commentary, but the warships approaching the Enterprise.
Yeah, we've definitely never seen those ships before.
No, I think we have.
They've been used. I think I was looking up earlier. 24 different species of ships. 24
it's
different
one of those.
ships.
Yeah.
It's called. It was the most toy ships. Kivas Fado ship. It was a Husnock ship.
Yeah.
It was a Bajoran fighter. It's been everything.
It's the one that started off as a shuttlecraft in the Series V.
That's probably the remastered shot because it looks like computer generated, but it's been used something like 24 times. They flip it, they add a few fins and things, but it's the most overused model in all of Star Trek or modern Star Trek.
Okay, so in engineering, Timmerson finds out that his people have disengaged the interface to science channels, so he can't even upload any of his reports. He knows that because he does not terminate himself, they will terminate his work. So it's been all for nothing. He laments that alive, he is a greater threat to his world than the dying sun.
That's a great shot.
And he delivers those lines whilst looking straight at the camera, and it's quite, it's quite powerful, I think.
And this is one of those examples where you can kind of see like the bald cap thing he's wearing.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never noticed he was wearing a bald cap this entire episode. What?
Yeah, and the tufts are they aren't his natural hair. Okay.
I don't know why, because he is actually bald. So,
Data. You can put Data back on the screen now. If you don't have a spare picture, I can send you one really quick.
I don't know. Is the next picture? Oh, no. It's not got it.
Oh.
There you go.
Thank you.
A little bit long.
Oh, delicious.
A little bit longer.
That shoulder spread. Panko, girl, hurt with me.
Padding. Right.
I also like how some of the lights work.
There is no padding on Data. He might have padding in his uniform, but that shoulder spread is his.
The delicious Data, the delectable Data. Yeah.
Desirable Data.
Desirable.
G-stars on a roll.
Yeah.
He looks up to see Lwaxana once again watching over him. They go for a walk in the corridors. Timmerson lets his frustrations out. Now that he's cut off from his people, his family, his work. And then Riker contacts them to tell him his daughter is coming on board. But don't say anything, anyone. His daughter is Dara. So Dara plays another character later in this series, but who?
So I do have something to... Oh, sorry, you've got to give the question.
Yeah. So the actress that plays Dara here appears as another character later in the series, but who? Is it A, Dax, B, Ro, C, Phlox, or D, Poe? A, Dax.
You want to make
B,
it start
Ro.
sounding like what they call Teletubbies.
I have to say, it's impressive, the hair thing. I assume there's some sort of metal cage or something in that to make that work. But
yeah, no doubt.
I would imagine so. But what I was going to say was they were in the middle of red alert there. Like they took their shields up as soon as those warships came along, and as Lwaxana and the Timothy guy was walking through the corridor. Red alert was still going. Presumably shields were still up. How did she get on board?
Well, maybe they just lured him and beamed him and loaded
Yeah, I
him.
guess they must have done.
Well, they could have shuttled her in the far side of the shields, and pocketed a hole. But yeah, it's not well explained.
I think they did say she beamed on board.
But did she beam on board for the fighters? Because they're a bit away from the planet, so the range of transport is about 50,000 kilometers, which isn't a lot in astronomical terms.
She might have been on one of the warships.
Yeah, and I think they
so the warships go to attack,
and
then maybe there's a missing scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I think they brought her on just like as a last attempt. Because you can imagine she probably said, "I want to talk to my dad," and they're like, "Yeah, you'll probably talk some sense into him.
Yeah,
give it to him hard," and they just requested that, and they're like, "Yep, okay."
Yeah, I've actually given G a demonstration of how I do my streams and how I have it all set up, and he's saying all those windows that I have open everywhere would give him anxiety.
The 50 tabs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bought a brand new laptop, €1,300 recently, and then just as I started the stream, YouTube just decided to hog all of my RAM and make everything crash, and I was like, okay.
That's a good point.
Even with like 6 tabs open, it just decided it wanted to take everything over and mess everything up. I'm like, all right.
No, I do find that if I leave YouTube open and paused on a video, it does like somehow eat memory. So I try not to have it open.
I just have it open to keep an eye on the chat, but I have to remember to pause the video or it just goes to muck.
Right. So, I've done the question, right? Have I said the question? Yes, I have. Yes. There we are.
Does the chat keep going if you pause the video? Hold on.
It does, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Okay, I didn't know
that. That might explain why you're having. That might explain why you're having problems with your green screen and your processing.
Oh yeah, eating bandwidth.
It's just YouTube's being a RAM hog and it's messing everything up.
Okay, so they meet with Dara in the guest quarters, and she tries to convince him to end this folly and come back home. Lwaxana thinks she will feel differently when she turns 60. His daughter says she can't imagine him dying somewhere else and not being laid to rest next to her mum and not being there when...
Oh, my mic is on. Shit.
No, sorry. We carry on. We can wait. Oh, I just turned it off. There we go.
Okay. I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, it's kind of like some AMSR, wasn't it?
I don't have my crisp packet from last week.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Leave those crisp packets alone. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. She cannot imagine him not being there when she gets laid to rest next to him. She loves him, but she is ashamed. She leaves, and Timothy asks Lwaxana to leave. He needs some time alone. Lwaxana goes to see her daughter, and we get this nice angle on the mirror. Good directing. I like this scene, and I thought having the reverse angle on the mirror in the room so you could see them both in shot at the same time. That was quite clever. And I like in this scene how like Troi's using her counselor skills to manage her mum without her mum knowing. Yeah, you're on.
But I think when you're training something, you without realizing it, like I work in banking, I'm a qualified financial advisor, and just when you start talking finances or mortgages, I just without even thinking, you go from a pub conversation to giving people serious advice, which you're not legally allowed to do because you're liable if it goes wrong. You just do it out of habit. You just go, oh yeah, well you could be doing it this way. You can't help yourself. So I think it's more a learned behavior. I don't think she's deliberately manipulating her. It's just her training is controlling her behavior.
But it's nice to see a good side to Councillor Troi. Her abilities coming to the fore.
Also, can I just say that what they do well in TNG that they don't do in Voyager is they use the same set for all of it, and sometimes they expand it wider for more luxurious quarters and smaller for smaller ones. But they actually changed the colors in TNG, at least in the later seasons, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's orange. It's just to try and give it a different feel. Whereas in Voyager, it's always like the same blue every single time. So it's good that they made an effort to try and show that it's customized, even if it's if they're standard quarters more or less every single time.
Yeah, and it's kind of what they did with the...
Sean, people in Voyager are lost out in space. They don't have the time or the capability to start interior design.
Or the Federation flagship. Yeah.
I'm just telling, changing the bulb.
No, but...
Go to blue alert. Are you sure, sir? That would involve changing the bulb.
This was a thing like sort of established in the TOS era where you did have, when you went into quarters, like there were like colourful bulbs would light up the walls. It was kind of like a Star Trek thing. Kind of made it Star Trek-y.
If you see, actually, there's a thing. If you see any videos of the Star Trek tour in Ticonderoga, upstate New York, and they're going to recreate the Next Generation sets the next year or two, so we'll all have to go.
Yeah,
but there's actually they actually painted the wall, and they painted like a line where the paint changed to make it look like they were hitting the ceiling, but it was actually just there was another foot of set.
Yeah.
So they did some really good camera tricks with just plain old paint.
Unfortunately, Tavana, you've sent G-Star off to the toilet with your pouring.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Your aural stimulation.
So yes, we're in Troi's or Lwaxana's quarters here, and she's questioning her life choices and comes to the conclusion that she was being selfish. Troi gives us some good perspective about how customs root a society and bring structure. So, basically, who are we to judge?
You would think you're a bit more experienced as a diplomat by now.
Yeah.
But wait, you guys forgot to talk about how good dude's acting was in the last scene. Because I think those were real tears.
This dude.
Yeah, that dude. He's the only dude. He's the dude for this episode.
He was really, really good. And yeah, I think like you really kind of felt for him in that struggle. It was really good. And in that quarters shot there, did you see the boom mic? It was like all over the place. A little bit of shot, then a big shadow like all over the wall. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh.
Just saying.
Well, that's all I wanted to say.
No, it's good. It's a really good point because I think just his character was just understated and quite emotional. It was,
and I thought it was really good because he's about to die. Like, can you imagine? Like, you got 4 days and it's over, game over.
Well, I can imagine as an actor, it's easy enough to channel those emotions. Particularly, I know he wasn't 60, but when you get even like me in my 30s, I kind of I can definitely relate with with the material. So I can see how you could emote that fairly easily.
Did you just say you were in your 30s? You
Late
can feel
30s.
With the sky. Okay.
I'm 37. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, Timothy enters and tells her he's going back, but he tells her he loves her, and does she believe it? And she does. It's his love for her was almost enough of a reason to stay, but not quite. And they hug, and she's saying goodbye to him. Picard then sees Timothy off in the transport room. He wishes him well. Timothy tells him his people will be in touch when they are ready. He asks him if he wants to wait, but he says no, they've already said their goodbyes. And just as he's about to leave, Lwaxana enters with her baggage, and she promises to Jean-Luc she won't cause any trouble, and she joins Timothy on his final journey, and they beam down to the planet together, hand in hand.
Brooch on her outfit's been reused.
Yeah, it was last used in the Most Toys. Where Data gets kidnapped by that guy to be in his collection, and he gets visited by his mate that's got like this metal band twirling through his nose.
Which is also the same ship we saw earlier in the episode, and that those guys with the band through his nose have been a lower deck since in the last season.
Yeah.
Hey,
also,
look how subdued she looks. Looks almost classy.
Also,
For once.
If I was the transporter chief, I'd be telling them to break hands because 2 separate patterns, and it would just make life a lot easier. With
I
something mixed
don't
up.
know. They beam up holding people and all sorts of things, don't they?
In emergencies, but in non-emergencies, you're basically doubling the chance of a problem because you can't separate them in the stream. You have to beam them as one person.
I did remember seeing that they were touching each other. It's like, what if their hands fuse together?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Neil Diamond's disease.
What?
Touching hands. Nope. I finally got Tabby. Sorry.
Remember Peltor.
I'm late this week.
You knew it. You knew the bell toll was coming. Right.
I'm late this week, but I finally caught Tabby. Sorry.
Should I give you a dum? Okay.
I just say
Whatever
because
you
of the amount of hard lemonade she's imbibed, but she's laughing at that.
Okay, so the answer to question 6. The daughter, the actor that played Dara, his daughter, played another character later in the series, but who was it? A. Dax, B. Rose, C. Phlox, or D. Poe? Hopefully, we got a lot of B's.
Everybody got it right.
It was Ro Lauren.
Also, I don't know why he's bringing luggage with him. It's not like he's going to have to brush his teeth later.
Yeah, but there would be a point at which you would stop caring about dental care, right?
It's like also he couldn't decide which outfit to wear. So on the left hand, he wore the long shirt, and on the right hand, he wore the black and blue shirt. He's trying to get in all his outfits at once because he's only got one day left to wear them.
Can you imagine the psychosis this creates of people, how weird they would get at the end?
Well, this is it. Like, I mean, I'd be like, for my last year or so, I'd be like, all right, where's the nearest, I don't know, pastry shop? I'm just going to live there and eat pastries the next year.
Yeah.
It's like, or I'm going to just be I don't care if my liver gives out. I'm going to drink every day for the next year.
I want to try everything.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of happens to you when you get
out.
When you get to like 80, they start giving you drugs and they go, "Oh, this is gonna make shit of your liver in 5 years." But yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Does
Top
it?
grade morphine for me, please. Yeah.
I want to be a drug addict for my last year.
80, develop a coke habit. That's the way to go.
Well, I'm not pro drugs or anything, but if I knew I was gonna die next week, I'm pretty sure I'd give heroin a try.
Just
loads of people seem to love it. There's
It's
probably
really,
something
it's
in
really
it.
good. It's really good.
Well,
Spit my lemonade back out.
Well, a bit of crystal meth.
Probably amazing, and like, what would it matter if I got addicted?
I can tell you, right? This is a true story, right? So, I broke my leg at my wedding, right? And
we're already off to a good start. Okay.
Right.
Did you jump off a stage or something?
I picked up my cousin Rob in a fireman's lift to show that you can pick up anybody in a fireman's lift, and he's about my height, my weight, about 20 stone. And I went to turn, and because of the pressure of my foot on the floor, my foot didn't turn, and the bones wrapped around it. So I broke my tib and fibula.
Both. Oh.
Yeah, both. Yeah. And so obviously he got taken to hospital, and I'm in immense pain despite being quite drunk. And they give me like gas and air, and I was like, "My God, wife, Smiler, you gave birth on this?" And they were like, "Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give you some morphine." So they dosed me up on morphine. I was happy as Larry. So then I'm moving my leg I'm laid out on this table, and I'm moving my leg, rotating my leg from side to side, but my foot was staying still.
Ew.
And I was like, "Smiler, look at this. Look, I can move my leg around, but my foot doesn't move." And Smiler was like, "Don't get on your wedding dress."
I've not had morphine, but I've had Valium, and it's literally like, we're gonna put this big stabby thing in your eye, and like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, it's okay.
But anyway,
I don't mind.
The point to that,
so that's just Valium.
The point to that is morphine is medical grade heroin. It's So
I enjoyed. The one thing I enjoyed, it was after childbirth, and this just lets you know just the type of person I am. I like leisure and laziness, and when they got that catheter in, it was the nicest feeling ever, knowing that I did not have to get up in the middle of the freaking night to have a wee.
Oh.
I could just lay there. I didn't have to get up. To me, that was like heaven. I'm like, what?
That'd be
I
like
don't have
holiday.
to get up. I can just lay here.
So we got a little bit past end of life drugs on that one.
Yeah,
then.
so G-Stars had morphine as well. It was
I'm
amazing.
just saying, if they give you a week to live, like, just give them the heroin, give them the LSD, whatever they like. Just, find out, have fun.
Good. Fun times.
And also, like, they make them work right up to the last day. I'd be like, well, give us at least 5 years of retirement package to go and travel and.
This episode is now turned into that one time on the TNG review show where everyone was talking about trying.
Let's try heroin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say no to drug.
Okay, yes, say no to drugs, everyone. Bad. Drugs are bad.
Unless you're imminently about to die, in which case, go for it. Why
Well,
not?
why not? Yeah. We're not recommending it, though. We're a little bit are, but we're not. No. Okay, so we did the last question, did we? And everybody, did we do the last question?
I don't know.
We did, and
Okay.
everybody
Yeah,
got it
the
right.
Royal Iron, yeah.
So being that Tavykins was already in the lead several questions before, and everybody got all of them right, that means that she is still in the lead at the end.
So we have a winner this evening. Tavykins Turner, congratulations. You have won tonight's quiz. Stuplum, I think you might have just lost your grip at the top of the of this season's championship. Oh no.
She tasked me, and I shall have her.
It's actually they've gone joint top. So Tavykins has finally joined Stuplum. You probably want to see
Level
this.
pegging.
Oh yeah.
Giggity.
Yeah. Oh, I should have.
Okay. I get to do. I'm a little tipsy now, so I got to do the con yell for myself. Tabby!
Tavykins!
She's conned herself.
Yes, I've conned myself. I like that.
And there we go. There we go. That's got the colours right.
Oh, and the benefit to me is I'm now in bronze position,
Say,
which I wasn't before.
Andrew and Mazam and Bob have actually gone back into the third position, joint third. So there you go.
Nice. That won't last long.
Is Andrew still on?
Again. No, I don't think so.
I think he's a busy chap, is our Andrew, isn't he?
Aww.
He is. He's usually working double shifts, bless.
Yeah, Stuplum, unfortunately, yes.
Special message for Andrew. Hej Andrew, jag vet att du
hello, Smiler Rainbow.
ikväll. Ha? Jag vet att du jobbar väldigt mycket ikväll, men jag hoppas du kommer tillbaka och höra på videon vi har haft. Och att du är väldigt underhållet i den episoden vi har snackat om. Så,
okay, moving on.
Ha det.
I didn't realise you were still doing Klingon words of the day. I thought we moved on from that.
He likes Norwegian, so I gotta give him something to come back for. Add some views. Hit that like.
Did you ever see the episode of Frasier where Frasier has to stand for his son's bar mitzvah, and he gets something translated into Hebrew, and he says it on the stage, but it's actually in Klingon?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you will laugh. Just look that up.
Whilst you're speaking Viking, don't forget to get your votes in chat for what you think, your ratings for what you think this episode should be. Out of 10, 0 to 10, what would you rate this episode?
Where's my paddle?
G-Star, what would you give this episode half a life?
Some small notes on reception. Apparently this episode was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Music Composition.
Oh, really?
There you go.
What?
I must admit, I was so focused on the story, I didn't pay much attention
I
to the
didn't.
score.
No.
I'm going to have to admit, man, none of the Star Trek movie has gotten me like that.
Do you know, I recently found out that is it David Livingston, and he did, again, it's half wrong, but he did First Contact, but some of the smaller scenes he gave to his son. Goldsmith. And anyway, I forget the two names, but the father was doing First Contact, and he gave some of the scenes to his son, and his son went on to score most of Stargate SG-1.
Oh, Stargate SG-1's really well scored.
But
That was a nice one.
his father scored First Contact, and he did some of the smaller stuff in First Contact. So, bit of a connection there.
Yep, scores in chat, people. Stu Plum, get your score in the chat. What do you rate it out of 10? Ruth, are you still there? Let us know. G-Star, get your scores in chat.
G-Star has responded with an 8.
Oh, an 8.
He's the only one that's responded
Well
so
done.
far.
Also, whilst you're getting your scores in chat, here's my time to share with you the figure of the week. So, who is this?
Show me.
Who is this playmate?
You want to put yourself big? Put yourself big
I
on
will,
the thingy.
Oh man, you're on my phone, so I won't even get to see you so big.
All right, here we
Ooh,
go.
it's very clear though.
Here we go. Ready? Who is this?
Oh yeah, that's herself.
Ah, that's whoa.
Come on,
Lauren.
focus.
Aww.
That's Lauren.
Well, Lauren.
Yeah, that is. That is
It's the
Lauren.
Admiral from the Pegasus in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
She's got an impressive shoulder spread there. She looks like a dude, and they just put boobies on it.
Ah, Ruth said Janeway.
All right,
That
Janeway.
kind of looks like her from later on, but the uniform's not quite right.
No, her hair
You
is
can't
black,
quite
and
make
Janeway
out
is
the fact
auburn.
that she's got ridges on her nose, and it won't quite.
Oh, Andrew is there after all.
But I'll tell you.
Andrew.
I'll tell you a fun story about Michelle Forbes.
Star said 7 of swine. What's
When Deep Space Nine was being developed, the whole character of Major Kira was developed as Ensign Rowe, just carrying on. And then she decided she was too big for Star Trek, and she wanted to have a film career. And of course, we all remember the many films she starred in and got Oscars for and went on with.
Yeah,
that one was really good.
I think she was in Escape from LA, and I can't remember anything else she was in. But she decided she was too good for Star Trek, and she turned down a 7-year deal, and a visitor got it instead. They rewrote the role.
Good.
So they were literally going to hand it to her and go, "You're going to be the lead on Star Trek Deep Space Nine," and they were like, "Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm going to be a movie star." All right,
I think you may have mentioned that last week or the week before.
Did I?
Can you
Oh,
imagine
sorry.
how much pain she is just thinking
That's
about
okay.
that?
You can mention it every week. It's fine. You know.
You can.
People.
That's cool. We may have new viewers.
We may
on
have.
different
It's,
weeks.
it's possible. It will happen one day. Yeah. Okay. So.
Gotta figure out my scoring now.
Yep. You got your paddles ready?
Ooh.
We only have 3 scores in chat, but that does give us some kind of an average.
We'll get to add Sean's to it because he hasn't got his own.
Oh, look, we might as well
It
wait
feels
till
like
season
Andrew.
5.
You'll get your own. You'll get your
Gotta
own
rate it,
column next
Andrew.
next
Your own
season.
column next
Sean.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, we're too close to the end of the season. Let's just start with season 5.
Andrew, du musst in den Bestemmelsen, den Stämma.
Just trying to communicate Klingon to. I know it's Norwegian. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Boing. 7867.
Unusual for me to go higher than anyone else.
Yeah.
Unusual for me to go lower, but
7, and then you can add Sean's 6. Oh, Rose fallen over.
I am doing so.
I love the B plot.
7 exactly is the average in
Logan's-
chat.
The Logan's
Also,
run dying
Andrew
at.
says 7. Sorry.
Sorry, no, you go ahead. Oh, okay. I love the B plot, the dying at 60 thing, and the cultural aspects of it. I loved all of that. The A plot was really boring, and it is a bottle show.
It is.
Yeah,
a,
it was
it
so
is a
boring
bottle
that
show.
I thought the A plot was so boring that the B plot was the A plot.
I think
Yeah.
it is. The B plot is
Yeah.
the A plot. The whole
Agreed.
relationship and him dying, that's the A plot. The reason he's there is the B plot, but it's not a very interesting B plot, and it doesn't get resolved because they don't actually manage to. Well, they just fail. Really, that's it. But yeah, I think it raises itself with the performance of the main guy. It's an excellent
really
performance.
does.
You know, it's really good.
And I don't see them as an A plot and a B plot. I just see, this society with a dying star, and the fact that the society are killing their people as being a kind of a little bit of an analogy of itself.
Yeah.
Well, I really like the message about aging and the difficulty of it, and the young having to look after the old the same way the old previously looked after the young. But that part was fantastic, and if that was the whole story, it'd be a 9. But just with like whatever the other plot about the son and stuff, it doesn't meet up as some of its parts.
G give it an 8. Ruth a 7. Stu a 7. Yeah. Andrew
Sean
a 7.
6 and
Sean
Andrew
6.
7. So the average is out as exactly a 7, with no
But
decimal
as I
points
said, he's written.
for the
Peter Allen
audience.
Fills wrote Duet, and he wrote In the Pale Moonlight. Sorry, was it In the Pale Moonlight? Did I say that? But he's done the best episode. Yeah, In the Pale Moonlight. Sorry. So he's done probably 2 of my definitely top 5 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and you can definitely see where he's going with this episode, and you can see the skill of it. So, but it wasn't his best effort.
And to be fair, it is the best episode, according to the statistics there, the best episode out of the last sort of 8.
Yes.
So,
I was going to say, it's the best episode since
it does
Clues.
definitely put its head a little bit above the parapet.
Yeah, it definitely, if you look at it from a point of view of the second half of season 4, it's one of the better episodes.
Hold on. Good night, Andrew. Golden night.
Good night, Andrew.
Yes, and I agree with G-Star. I mean, the acting was really good. I mean, Michelle Barrett raised her game. Timosin was excellent, really excellent. And then even Lwaxana as an extra, she did so well that, it ended up getting her an extended role. So, I think the acting was so good. I think the story was great. I think the emotion in it was great as well.
Okay, I hope I haven't said this one before, but Lwaxana went on special tactical training in Starfleet Academy, and in Beta Canon, it's widely considered that the person that gave her this training was Chakotay. And that's how she ended up in the Maquis, because of Chakotay and his...
the sort of wider stories.
Yeah, it's not quite linked together, but it almost
put it away, Chris.
Oh man!
Just walking half naked behind you there.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of background screen on. So.
Give us a dance, Chris.
Suddenly it's got Tavakin's Turner's full attention.
Sean's saying, "Give us a dance, Chris." Oh, he's asking me to turn it away from him.
Lovely.
The squeals of delight.
Tavona's making all kinds of excited noises.
Master McBob, I applaud your choices, my dear. You chose wisely.
Figure of a man. Yeah.
Fire in the house.
Wisely.
Tavakin says she applauds my choices.
Good girl. Hold that down.
Yeah. He's a booty pole.
Dear.
He's like 10 years my junior. Oh, did you see that? That as his shorts go flying across the room. At least he had them on when he was
Please
in the
don't stand up again.
And suddenly the awesome video was banned.
It's a way of getting my channel wiped off of YouTube.
We can upload it to OnlyFans and make up the money that we could be making on the other side of the monetize.
Yeah, well, he's also a firefighter, so we could do the calendars. We can make money that way.
Yes, everyone, subscribe to our Patreon. If 1% of you subscribe, we will have 0 Patreons.
Yeah.
I won't be able to finish this tonight. I tried, but I can't do it.
So I suppose the next question is, what is the next episode?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, tell me more.
It is The Host.
Oh, of course, we can't see the trailer, can we? Because
no, well, if you just talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Well,
Amongst
it's the
ourselves.
Trill in the way you'll never see them again.
So one thing Stu Plum has said in chat is that he says he's glad he's not a Kaolin 3. I think that's not quite right. What's it called? A Kalar 2, is it? Anyway, whatever it's called, inhabitant. And the reason why he says that is because he's 76. So, had he been, that means he would have had to have killed himself 16 years ago. And in fact, I was thinking about this, Stu Plum. His oldest grandchild is 15. So it means he would have never met any of his grandchildren had he been on that planet and had to off himself at 60. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a grandmother
disturbing.
who died of lung cancer about 15 years before I was born. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, it
Actually,
does.
longer.
But Stu Plum would have had to have killed himself instead of being here
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
next
yeah.
16 years and meeting his
Fair
grandchildren,
enough.
which would have been bad. Yeah.
No, that didn't work. What have I done?
It's okay. You can play the trailer for it next week.
Okay, so it's the introduction of the Trill species, and they have different makeup than we later see them in, and yeah, the symbiote completely takes over the body instead of just being a merge, and
Passion ignites between
Oh,
Dr.
I've got
Crusher.
it. I've got it. Sorry.
He's got it.
By George, I think he's got it.
Once again,
Show me.
He's got it. He's got it. By George, I think he's got it.
once
Sorry.
again,
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Mainly on the plane.
you guys won't be able to hear this probably, but you'll just have to imagine. And it
Okay,
is.
we'll watch it. We'll
It
watch
is
it.
in
I'm in
like.
it. I'm in it.
It is in like
I'll mute myself
240.
and turn it up on my
Yeah.
phone.
Between Dr. Crusher and
Oh no! Go on.
between Dr. Crusher and
Oh, yeah.
an
He's
alien
not even a
ambassador.
candle.
Beverly,
Bounce,
you're in
go,
love.
wow, wow.
But a shuttle
Boom, boom.
disaster leaves him in critical condition.
You're dying.
She was probably getting horny because he was almost
now,
a
a
ghost.
shocking alien transplant puts two lives at stake.
I am Odin. I still love you.
I don't know who you are.
Unknown mystery next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
So yeah, apologies for the quality of that. Hopefully, TrekCore will be back up and running next week. Who knows? But yeah, so the introduction of the Trill, the first sort of.
Cool.
Jeez,
We'll be
Dad.
rife with discontinuity errors just because they developed so much more later on.
Yeah, lots of initial thoughts on what Trill are, and yeah,
Majram, Stupid.
Majram. G-Star's already scored it a 1. So.
Yep. Good
Yeah.
night, Stu.
It's not bad. It's just the fact that Trill changed so much afterwards.
Well, it's gonna be, innit? You can't help but that, you know.
We just need to consider it in isolation, I think.
Yeah.
You just got to imagine those future episodes just weren't getting continuity right.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, if you get to that future episode and then you want to criticize it for not being true to canon, then do that. But at this
Yeah.
point, there is no canon, right?
No.
No, but what happened is Terry Farrell, they considered her a very beautiful woman, which obviously she is, and they decided putting this big clump on her head just took away from that, and they go, why don't we make her look like Famke Janssen when she was on TNG? And Famke, do you remember she was in that pod and the Ferengi? I forget the name of the episode, but we'll cover it again next week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they basically, she just had spots down the side of her face, and why don't we just do that again? And yeah, they just changed it because they thought Terry Farrell was too beautiful to muck her up with extra makeup. Simple as that.
Fair dues. Says teenage me.
Slug in your guts, says G-Star.
Slug in your guts. He's not a Trill fan, obviously. I like a Trill. But,
Trill, I got worms.
That's what you do. They're multiplying.
They're definitely losing control
Control.
because the slug
Wait,
takes
how did-
over. But you know,
How do the symbiotes reproduce? Because technically that is like having worms, isn't it? Are they like the Gua'uld or something?
She's got worms in her belly.
I think they reproduce in like a sort of
That's
mud
disgusting.
pit thing, in a
do.
like a mud bath
Yes,
type
In
thing.
the viscous pools.
In the
being
viscous
looked after
pools.
by a bunch of monks.
So they're basically humping and the monks are watching.
Well, in Discovery, in Deep Space Nine territory, about half the population are capable of hiring hosts, but they pretend that it's only like 1%, so that there's not wars over the things. But by the time of Discovery, when they go back to Trill, they can't find enough hosts for all the symbionts they have, and they have to start using non-human hosts, which we'll obviously get into next week.
Discovery, what's that?
Will we?
Have I heard of that program? I don't know.
Don't know.
It's some sort of it's Star Trek fan fiction. It's not quite right.
Ah, right.
But
Fair enough.
You get some of the basic stuff right, but not all of it.
Okay,
the Trill in Discovery managed to make me stop watching it. Oh, that's what stopped you, did it? I stopped a long time before that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to watch it. It slowly gets better, but it's definitely done. I mean, it's worse than Enterprise. It gets so much.
It doesn't get better. I disagree.
You're so sweet, Sean. I can't.
TNG review.
Anyway, TNG. One quick question then, based on the last question, my answers with what character does that actress play, Dax, Ro, Phlox, or Poe? Obviously, the answer was Ro, and everybody got it right. But who are the others? Does anybody know?
Well, Phlox is Genobulan Doctor on Discovery.
Nope.
He's not on Discovery.
Phlox? Dr. Phlox.
Not Discovery.
He's in Enterprise.
Enterprise. Yes, Enterprise. He's the Doctor on Enterprise.
Dax is a few different people. Curzon, Jadzia, and what's her face?
But where did I get Poe from?
Poe Dameron from Star Wars?
No, it's Star Trek. No, it's Star Trek. I'll tell you where I got it from. And you won't know this, Mazmat Bob, but there's a character in Discovery who's like a queen, but like feral, who comes on board and is like
a Borg queen.
No, she's like this queen, but she's like this kid, and she's really good at engineering, and she ends up solving all their problems in season 3.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. She was like I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Thank God they never did that in The Next Generation. That would really rile up the fans.
Anyway, Queen Poe, that was where I got the Poe from.
Oh my God.
Discovery.
G-Star got Discovery, yes. Poe was from Discovery.
I've watched it all relatively recently, and I have absolutely no idea who that is.
I think she was introduced in a short trek initially, where it was between her and the ginger-haired woman. I can't remember her name.
Tilly.
Tilly finds this like feral creature.
Yeah. Oh, I'm silly for Tilly.
There's been 3 series, and Monty Python can't even remember her name.
I don't know any of the characters' names. No.
Oh, there's a guy on the bridge, and he's one of the main bridge officers, and he's a Korean guy, Kwok Chan or something, and he's had 3 lines in 5 series.
No clue. I got no clue really anymore. But anyway, that's where I got the poo from.
Yeah, that's
it's Poe, P-O, not poo. G-Star.
Oh.
It's not in Tinsy Wincy. No, it's not. Nor Lala. No.
Lala.
Like, I have to appreciate that Discovery kicked off all the new Trek stuff, but it's never been
Ruth says
good.
there's also a Lieutenant Bryce on the bridge, which is her surname namesake.
Yeah, cool.
And Monty Ban and I, although I'm McBob and Monty Ban is Monty Ban, our surname is McCoy.
We're McCoys. Yeah, we are actually
Dr. McCoy link.
We are actually McCoys.
Ruth says he says at least one ISER every episode.
Yeah. I played Star Trek Online and used my actual name. So, like, my character was like Captain Mark McCoy. And people kept telling me, like, I shouldn't use McCoy. You can't use, like, actual characters' names. And I was like, no, it's just my name.
That's my actual name.
Yeah.
Well, you could have just called yourself the real McCoy and just...
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah.
The real McCoy.
I'm his great grandfather.
And G-Star said Bryce is his mum's maiden name. I think Ruth has spent some time in Plymouth, G-Star. She's got family roots in Plymouth. You guys could be related.
You could be distant relatives. Yeah.
Actually, I think your mum's from Cumbria, isn't she? So maybe not.
No. Well, you never know. Right. Well, thank you, everyone. We've had the teaser for next week. Please come join us. for next week's episode. Thank you to Mazmat Bob, Tavikins Turner, and Sean for joining us this evening. We'll be seeing you next week. Thank you to G Star for coming along this evening. Ruth and Andrew, thank you for taking time out of your busy work schedule. The Beard, Gujon, thank you for coming along, mate. And anybody else? Paiko! Supreme Panko. We'll be seeing you next week.
Wookie.
Yeah. I'm forgetting them. Yep. We'll see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock for another TNG review show. See you then.
Same bad time,
Cheers.
same bad channel.
LLP
Bye.
dudes.